maybe?
Yeah.
Welcome, Sean, to Messages from the Medicine, Unpacking the Gift, Integration Interview number 5.
Hello.
Hello. So, you have just been through a hero's journey.
Mm-hmm.
This is the end of the 3rd day of very intense ceremony and deep inner work.
Yep.
How are you feeling right now? What have you been going through?
After today,
Mm.
um, I had a release yesterday, which was awesome. But today was probably the most transformative experience I think I've ever had.
Mm.
Um, I just I finally feel free. I finally feel like the chains are off, and I don't have to keep fighting everything that's inside of me. You know what I mean? I came down here to face some really hard demons. Some really hard traumas, and I've never felt more clear. I've never felt more of a release. Me personally, I feel like I was in a car accident, but in a good way.
Mm.
Like just tired because there was a lot of energy that I had to get out. I've never felt. I said it twice this weekend. I thought I knew what love was, and after today, I know what love is.
Mm.
Um, the experience today was just. I feel free. I felt like God was there with me today. I felt which I have a relationship with God, but I never felt like He was right next to me, and today I did. Um,
Mm.
it was just so emotional and so relieving, and when I was done, it was like I'm just wiping this all off of me.
Mm.
It was a big leap to come here, but I am just beyond gracious and appreciative, and I, I feel like a completely different person. I feel like a lot of doors were opened today for me, internally. Um, I didn't feel alone, you know. Um, the things that happen to me don't have to define me, and for a long time they were.
Mm.
Um, I felt like I was reborn today as an adult.
Mm.
I feel like going through this experience has put more armor on the tools that I already have per se. I've done a lot of work over the years to try to face my trauma, and it would work a little and then it would fade, and it would work a little and then it would fade, and I don't feel like that anymore.
Mm.
I feel just open and loving, and so much less stress, and don't feel alone. Um, my heart feels like it's grown twice the size. You know what I
Mm.
mean? With the thoughts that are going through my head. And, I didn't have to experience the things I experienced. They don't have to define me. And I don't feel like unless I came here, I would have found that. I have never in my entire life
Mm.
felt what I felt today.
Mm.
I felt loved for the
Mm.
first time.
Mm.
Man, it was. And like these tears, I've learned
Mm.
over the years, I never used to be able to talk about this stuff. And I've learned this is what's called the natural progression of emotions. You can't keep fighting them, it doesn't get you anywhere. So yeah, like I'm emotional, but I'm happy, and I needed that. I needed that so much. I needed it so much.
Mm.
And I feel like I was just fighting it for so long.
Mm.
I feel free.
Mm.
for the first time, I feel free. And that's just, it's such a good feeling, but I'm still trying to process it, you know?
Yeah. So for the first time in your life, you feel free
Yeah,
and you feel the presence of love and you
yeah.
feel love.
Since I was 12 years old, I haven't felt free since I was 12, you know?
Wow.
Going through what I went through with my brother molested me, raped me, and just fighting it my whole life and having it blocked from my memory because that's what trauma
Wow.
does. Sometimes you forget. And
When did it surface to be remembered?
my best friend Raymond Kenneth Hillier, um, committed suicide. He was
Mm,
my best friend in the Marine Corps. I met him in the Marine Corps,
mm,
and he just so happened to live in the town that I lived in, and I didn't know
mm,
him
mm,
because he was 3 years older, and we just hit it off. And then as the years went on, he got out a year and a half before me, and I came home, and then he got me a job, making six figures, be able to have a house and a family, and he was going through a bunch of struggles, and I got a phone call one night, and he had taken his own life, and
mm,
from that day on, everything changed. Um, I started just going down the wrong road, and a lot of anger and worries. Like, well, I'm showing signs of that too, and like Jesus Christ, and I just felt like I was spinning down a drain, going nowhere forever. I asked a couple of my doctors, how come these memories were blocked from my brain for a long time, and they said it's one more log in the pile. There's only so much water you can fit in the glass. Eventually, it pours over. Um, and I started a long road of therapies and programs, and getting bounced from one doctor to the next, and trying to self-medicate. And um, I went to the home base program in Boston, which is 2 week. It's an ICP program, intensive case program. You have to have traumatic brain injury and
mm.
um, post-traumatic stress disorder, and I did. You get drug tested every day. They run you through a year of therapies and stuff, and that did help save me to a point.
You did a year
It was 2 weeks.
or two
It
weeks.
was a year of therapy. It was 16
Wow.
hours a day.
Wow.
Yeah, they got doctors there that drug test you every day. Not everybody graduated. I graduated, but as I got months and 12 months and 2 years away from it, things start to come back, and um, I just feel like the way that, especially the Veterans Hospital, VA, the way that they do things, because I do cases for a lot of veterans, being able to help other people and see what other people go through and see what I go through,
Mm,
it just nothing was working, and I lost family members because I faced my trauma, and I lost
mm,
friends, and
mm.
and being able to,
Because they didn't believe you, they didn't
yeah,
validate
they
you.
didn't believe me. My dad, my parents got divorced. I was like 12, 13 years old, and that's when uh, my mom was never home. She put locks on the fridge, locks in the freezer. It was an Irish setter we had. Her name was Kelly. She had fleas so bad. By the time I would get to my bedroom out to the front door, my white socks were half black, 100 pounds of dog shit in front of the washer and dryer. Mom's never home.
Mm,
There's a lock on the fridge. I can't eat, and
mm.
my brother's molesting me. So I just felt like trapped. My dad, he would pick me up every 2 weeks, but as a kid, especially back then, they didn't have any lanes for children to talk about stuff like that. And
Mhm,
um, when I finally started addressing this, like 5 years ago, and I have a full confession on tape too. Like, my father has heard it. Um, he went to court with me, and my
mhm,
wife went to court with me, and just having to go through that and just feeling like part of my childhood was taken from me. I wasn't allowed to be a kid,
mhm. Yeah.
um, and I just kept fighting it and fighting it and fighting it. And the experience that I had this weekend, I am going to be recommending it to a lot of the veterans that I work with. I know I'll be end up having a couple of them down here because I think a lot of them look up to me because I'm the only one willing to take a leap.
Mm,
Because I'd rather take a leap towards help than go the other way. Had suicidal ideation quite a few times. Had a gun in my mouth once,
mm,
and I'm just not a quitter.
mm,
And that's like I was having that internal struggle. Like, I'm not going to do that to my family. You know what I mean? But it just, I wasn't where I needed to be, and this week, I can honestly say, has transformed the way I look at things, the way I feel right now. I've smiled more in these 3 days than I have in the last decade, and it feels so good to just not feel that trauma. I don't have to be defined by it.
Yeah.
So I I have never been more happy in the last 2 days
Mm.
on self work than what has happened here for me.
Mm.
I'm excited to go home and just implement things, and I'm already running so many things through my head, like, you know, I should call that person, I should call this person. But yeah, I had a whole family that disowned me because I brought it too light. I have aunts and uncles. I have God knows how many cousins on one side of the family that just threw me away.
Mm.
I used to do Christmas with that family, like Christmas
Mm.
Eve and Thanksgiving. And the last bunch of years, I spend it alone,
Mm.
and it just like eating away at me. So I I'm forever indebted to you guys because of what has transpired these last. I'm finally happy. I don't feel like I have chains around me anymore.
Mm.
It's just like I feel like I just received such a gift, but obviously I had to do the work, but
Mm.
it just, these are tears of gratitude.
Mm.
I just feel whole. I don't feel broken.
Mm.
And I just can't wait to like give more love to my family when I get
Mm.
home. My immediate family, my wife and my kids. I needed, I needed that more than I even knew before this week. I needed to be here.
Mm. You are a living miracle.
Thank
Yeah.
you. I don't know what to say to that. Um, I'm just a fighter. I just didn't want to. I didn't want to stop fighting. I want to watch my kids walk down the aisle,
Mm.
see them grow up.
Yeah.
I don't think if I came here, that would have happened.
Mm. Yeah, I mean, my very first impression of meeting you was like, I was floored by how self aware you were and how willing, like your courageous willingness to be completely exposed and vulnerable. Like you were just, like the most horrific, unimaginable traumas that you've endured, and you were like with no shame, just speaking, I've been through this, help, I don't know how to move forward, I don't know how to heal. And I mean, with all that you went through in your journeys to experience, like how do you feel now, or what's shifted in your perspective with regards to all the trauma that you've been through? Like how does it, when you recollect your past, your human history, like how has it been reframed, or how has it shifted for you?
On the bufo today, right? Before, that was the first time I felt like God was there with me,
Mm.
and He just said it's okay.
Mm.
And I needed that so bad,
Mm.
and I was kind of like, I didn't fight it. I was like, what do you mean? He's like, I'm here with you. It's
Mm.
okay.
Mm.
I was like, okay, let's let it go. You know what I mean? Um,
So you feel like that huge burden of,
I feel like that cancer inside of me is gone.
wow.
I feel like
Wow.
it's gone. I feel like
You
I put so
released
many
it.
layers onto the things that I've tried to teach myself. I call it my armor. I feel like
Mm-hmm.
I put an impenetrable force on my armor with the
Mm-hmm.
subject. And like I said, like I'm crying, but I am so happy right now. Like
Mm-hmm.
I just, it's like a 500-pound weight off my shoulders. My soul, my
Yeah.
soul is just wouldn't let it go. I couldn't let it go.
Yeah.
I was able to let that go
God.
for the first time. So it's like, whoa,
Yeah.
finally, finally. Um, I mean, I had a relationship with God before today. Talked to him, but I felt like he was holding my hand. You know, I felt like I wasn't alone, and I feel like a completely different person. This is probably the most important thing I've done for myself and God. I don't know how long. You know, and I'm glad that I came here to the Advent Church. I mean, I researched this stuff. I looked into it, and those were the two things I had to do this year was stem cells for my body and this. And I said, if I don't get my mind right, what is getting my body right now do? I wanted to get my mind right, so if something happened with my body down the road, I could be empowered to have the strength to deal with that.
It's very wise. What was it, about Atma, Whitney, what resonated that you entrusted to come here?
Without trying to get too personal, it was I was online, and there was I was like on a page. It was a nonprofit page. I won't mention the nonprofit, but they do a similar experience, and there was a veteran on there, and I was typing a couple of things about how I was interested, and he had commented, and then we started like messaging on the side, just random person. His name was Justin. Um, I talked to him before I came here, actually. Don't even, never met, right? But we were both in the military, so you kind of have the lingo down.
Mm-hmm.
And someone in Whitney's life, um, that she had in her life for a while, that isn't around anymore. That person knew him, and he said, "Look," he put me in touch with him, and he said, um, you know, "I screwed that up with her. Um, you know, it is what it is." He's like, "But we still care about each other and this, that, and the other." And um, it was one of her exes, I believe, and he went up one side and down the other and said, "I'm telling you right now, she knows what she's doing."
Mm.
And for me to say that to a random person, I'm telling you, go there because it will be everything that you need.
Wow.
So to have someone that's not in your life anymore say that, I was like, geez, wow, that's like,
Yeah, to have
wow,
an ex
an ex
speak
say that,
that,
yeah.
that's a lot.
And then he gave me her number, and
Mm-hmm.
we started talking back and forth. I think in August or September, and I was like, I'm coming down. And then I booked the tickets, and yeah, I took the leap. And I mean, you don't know what you're gonna walk into here, but I've been in similar situations where people are coming from everywhere, and I like to get along with everybody. I'm not causing any problems, and everyone here has been amazing, and just everything that she said that we could work on, and that we'd be okay, and you guys would all be here guiding us through all of this, all of you. Um, it was more than what she offered. You know what I mean? All of you here at this church don't stop smiling. You don't stop loving. You don't stop working almost like for us for the few days that we're here, and showing us the new life can begin. That's it was everything that the reference that he gave for her was everything and more. It was more. You know what I mean? I feel forever indebted to all of you just for who you are. You know what I mean? Because there are so many veterans like myself that need this more than they would ever know. Um, and you think that they just feed us pills and this stuff, and you're not going to get anywhere like that. I just always felt like I had to tap into my soul, and I had to tap into something that was just in here that I just didn't know how to manage. And y'all pulled it out. You know what I mean? Like I'm forever indebted to all of you.
Mm. I just feel like, hallelujah. I mean, you
You
are,
guys are awesome.
yeah.
Thank you so
Yeah,
much.
I mean, this is such a triumph. This is because you've been through unimaginable
The gamut,
suffering and darkness, and to be sitting where you are now, like you're just so wide open, so
I
loving,
feel so
so,
free.
yeah.
I just feel so good and so free. And I said that someone earlier today. I said, I can't wait to go home and see my son.
Mm,
And I know where he gets his smile from, because when I came out of the bufo, I just wouldn't stop smiling.
mm,
I was smiling. I was
mm,
crying, but I was smiling.
mm,
And I was like, I don't smile that much. And she's like, well, you are now.
mm,
You need to start. I was
mm.
like, oh, thank you so much.
And how are you feeling in your physical body? Because I know you've been struggling with.
Yeah. Yeah. I have, unfortunately, I got like 20, I can't even count anymore. It's like mid 20s, close to the 30s. Disabilities that the VA's given me. There's
Mhm,
legs, knees, spine, multiple surgeries on my shoulder, my hip,
mm,
my knee, my quad, my bicep tendons. I can't feel my arms
mm,
and my legs to a certain point. I can just feel fingertips, and
mhm,
they just threw fibromyalgia at me at one point just to appease me. And then here's another pill bottle. I threw that out.
mm,
Um, I'm in chronic pain all the time, which is why I need to go get stem cells, because I need my body to stop fighting me. But um, forget where I was going with that. But um, that's my goal this year, is to go do that. But even on day 2 with the psilocybin, um, there was a whole hour and a half to 2 hours. That was the first time I hadn't felt pain in over a decade. Yeah, I hadn't felt pain in over a decade. My body was fighting me. I could feel it for a while, and then I spoke to so many people while I was on that journey, and not God. I've been wanting to say this like ever since it happened. I wanted to say like Yahweh. That's the name that kept coming to me.
mm,
And I saw this woman, and she was like, "Let it go, let it go." And my body finally, and I think they said I stayed still almost for like an hour and a half, 2 hours, and that was the first time I hadn't felt pain. And this weekend it's the first time I haven't felt pain in over a decade. Yeah, over a decade.
mm,
So when I came out of that yesterday, one of the first things I said was I didn't know what love was until today,
mm,
because she was giving me that gift of relax.
mm,
You're not in pain right now. Just accept it, and I did.
mm,
Which definitely got me ready for today. I didn't know it. I didn't go in with expectations, and I'm glad I did. I don't like to do that. I like to put myself into something with people that are experts in that field, and trust them. You know what I mean? That's why I did research, and yeah, that was. I felt like my body was off the table, and it just was like, oh, don't end,
mm,
don't end, you know. And I felt amazing, and I don't even know, like, I don't know what to say. It was so emotional. I came out of there, and then I went outside, and I wanted to lie on the ground because I wanted to say thank you to Earth.
mm,
I just have such more of an understanding, and not a big one, but I'm a newbie, but understanding of what this planet can provide for us, and Earth, what it provides for us definitely helped me this week. You know what I mean? And I just sat out there and just rubbed my hands on the ground saying thank you, thank you, thank you.
mm.
But even to just have that temporary relief, that was amazing. You know, I'm always creaking and cracking and just sore and just, oh. And it was euphoric,
Mm.
you know. It was, it's what I needed. You know, so I got the pain relief and then you get the soul relief too. You know what I mean? It just, I'm like shaking my head because I like to process things and I'm just like, I know I'm going to be on that plane tomorrow, just writing in my journal, like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Trying to get other people down here that are suffering, you know, maybe as much as I am or more or less, but they need it. You know, this place grounded me over the last few days. I
Mm.
haven't been grounded in, well, I mean, pay my bills, I take my kid, right? But I haven't been grounded and free and peaceful
Mm.
and happy.
Mm.
And just the air smells different. You know, the light's a little bit lighter. Uh,
Mm.
like I'm not tense. You know, I have to constantly find myself.
Mm.
I'm just, you know, I just feel
Mm.
like mush. It feels great.
Mm.
You
Mm.
know, I just feel relaxed. My body doesn't feel like it's fighting me right now. I'm in pain, but I'm in less pain because I'm not. You know,
Yeah. What would you say is the like tipping point moment that you kind of broke through? Was it the first day with the combo, or do you remember when?
the second day, after about 3 or 4, sorry, after about 3 or 4 hours on the psilocybin, I knew if I got through that, whatever was coming tomorrow, if I fought through what was fighting me, then I would be fine, right? Because I know I can relax it for what's coming. I've had a little experience with psilocybin before, so I'm like, okay, like, but I had never taken the dose that I took, but the dose I took was perfect. Um, I wasn't freaking out. Like, I know everybody took their mask off after an hour. I stayed, my mask was on for like 4 hours. I didn't take it off. I was like, I'm gonna stay in here.
Were you seeing or experiencing?
Some of the most beautiful colors in my life. You know, I saw reflections of things I want to improve in my family. Um, my relationship with my older daughter, she loves me. I love her, but we don't see her as much. And I was told yesterday, it's okay, but that's your job to fix. You know what I mean? Like, you're the king of that castle. You gotta fix that for your family. And I was like, I got you.
Mm.
You know what I mean? Like, and when I kind of went outside, that was my breakthrough. You know, I told her, Whitney, I said, I didn't know what love was until today. That opened the door for today. And then today, like my stomach was bothering me because I was doing a lot of breathing yesterday, my pelvic floor, right? I was like, oh, I was like, I'll be fine. I'm like, I'm not backing out of it. Are you kidding me? And then just right when you get in there and you know you start, it just I felt this rush of love. That was the first thing I felt. Like,
Mm.
you know, I took the handshake dose, and then I took the dose after the handshake dose. Kind of, I was starting to get a couple things out, and I kind of caught myself, and I was like, okay, now give me, I'm ready. And then when I took the second dose, I didn't have a preconceived like this is what I want to think, and this is what I just let it come, and it felt like it just weaved instantly through my body, and I felt happiness, sadness, love, all of that stuff at the same time. I was like, whoa, you know, but there was some anger in there. And that was the poison that was inside. And I've always been, you know, open and forthfront. And my father always says, you know, if you had to ask both the boys, you know, what happened, you'll get a story from one, you'll get the truth from Sean. And I just started, I felt comfortable and I felt like I had a war team in there with me. You know, I had God, I had Red, I had Ernesto, I had Meredith. And I was so upset that I feel like I've wasted so many years without knowing what true happiness is. You know what I mean? And it's just such a gift. You know, it felt like such a gift of just emotions, and there are emotions I needed to go through. Um, the medicine helped me go through what I needed to, instead of screwing around with time, and I got right to it. Um, it was intense, but I enjoyed every second of it. It might seem like I didn't, but there's things I said today that I've said before, but I've never said them in the way that I said them today. I never put it all together. Um, it's hard to put into words. It's a blessing, you know. I just can't thank you guys enough. Like I just can't. I can try. I'll try.
I can't thank enough. I mean, I was so like praying for you with every fiber of my being. And I feel like the odds of, what you've been through, like the just yeah, like unimaginable suffering, cruelty, like
It's been a
just
rough road. I say to
horrible.
myself all the time, I was always that kid that was thrown in a corner, just kind of had to figure it out. You know, you get tired of that. Children aren't supposed to be something that are abused and tormented. They're supposed to be gifts that we have in this earth. The odds of being born are ridiculously low. You know what I mean? You
Yeah.
said that night one. I'm like, oh, yep, she knows that. And to be able to be here on Earth, and I know I said it today while I was in there. Um, I said, you're my brother. You're supposed to fucking protect me. You're not supposed to do what you did, along with a lot of swearing. You know what I mean? Um, and I'm just glad that I've created a life for my family, my son, my daughters, my wife, that'll never happen. You know what I mean? I make it a point. My son, all three of my kids, they wake up in the morning, they come find me, they give me a hug and a kiss. When they come home from school, they give me a hug and a kiss. When they go to bed, they give me a hug, and it's not forced. It's like, Dad, where are you?
Mm.
We love each other,
Mm.
But I can be rough around the edges because of all the trauma I'm always carrying around. I don't feel rough around the edges.
Mm.
I just feel so light.
Yeah.
I feel just loose. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And you are now this living testimony that even in the darkest situations, that there is hope, that transformation is possible,
It is.
that healing is possible. And yeah, just the resilience of the human spirit, the resilience of love, like after all you've been through to shut you down, and here you are, like a total beautiful triumph,
I feel
just
so good.
beaming love.
I feel so good. I've always been like a softie, you know what I mean? But I'm rough around the edges, but I just feel kind of tapped back into a little bit of my old self.
Mm.
You know what I mean? Um, words can't describe how good I feel.
I'm so happy
I
for
can't.
you.
You know what I mean? I feel amazing. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? This experience, what I've gone through the last couple of days, is the most transformative experience I've gone through in my entire life.
For anyone who has yet to experience the grace of knowing love, like to really know the existence of love, like how would you try to describe or put words to what that felt like, of feeling God's presence, feeling love?
It felt like every particle in my body was just smiling.
Mm.
It felt, I didn't feel like I was somewhere else. You know what I mean? I was here. It, there was a little bit, for a real quick second, there was a little bit of resentment, resentment with myself because I was so aggravated that I've gone through 44 years, and I'm like, and I just find this out now. This is what love feels like. This is what freedom feels like. This is what healing and peace feels like. And I was like mad for a second, and I remember saying, "Let it go," and I let it go. You know what I mean? I have been in some of the worst situations in the world. I have seen some of the most graphic things in my life. I've seen some of the most, what I thought were the beautiful things in my life. Having my feet planted here right now at this church for these few days, especially today, is the most loving and gratifying and good feeling that my body just felt like it was a big smile. But there was some demons I had to get out, and I got them out. And I just remember hugging and kissing it, Ernesto, Whit, Meredith in the room, and I was just like, you, you're all my brothers and sisters forever. Like I can't even explain. I try to put it in words. I can't explain how much gratitude I feel. I mean, yeah, I know I took the leap, but y'all took the leap way before I did. You know what I mean? Which is why we're here. And I would highly recommend that anyone that thinks that they have traumas that are so severe, they can't be healed. Every person here is a warrior. You know what I mean? Trauma is relevant to the eye of the beholder, right? And nobody's trauma trumps anybody else's. It's how it affects you. And I feel like a lot of us here face some really serious traumas. I know I did. And I'd highly recommend, if people are struggling, do some research, make a phone call. You know what I mean? I live 1,000 miles away. There's nowhere I'd rather be right now. Nowhere. You know, it's. I needed this. I needed this so bad. I needed it so bad, and I got tenfold what I needed. You know, it's. I just feel like I wasted time on Earth without feeling like this. But I'm grateful to be here today, and yeah, I'm truly happy. I know I'm gonna smile more. You know what I mean? I know I'm lighter. I know I'm more peaceful. And I know my traumas don't have to define me. You know what I mean? I get to rewrite that chapter, and today was the beginning of writing that chapter. Or yesterday and today was the beginning of writing that chapter.
So, from this state of who you are emerging, I feel like you're going through this complete like metamorphosis,
Oh yeah.
transformation. Like what is lighting you up now for, when you go home
I
and
feel some of the things we did the other day that y'all had us do. I feel rich. I feel abundance. Right. I feel like I have a network of warriors that if I need, I can call. I feel a renowned love for my wife. I feel a renowned love for my kids. Um, and I know that they are my sole purpose on this planet to make sure that they enjoy life. They're not harmed, and guide them in the right path. And I feel so excited to go home and implement that. You know what I mean? And drop all the stresses and the constant things that are going on in my head because I can't, you can't get some of that stuff out sometimes. So I feel rich. I know I'm very wealthy, as far as what I have at home, for family. I may not have, half my family anymore because it's, maybe my brother's stuff, but I can live a very, very happy life. Rubbing my wife's feet every day if she needs it, taking my kid to the ballpark if he needs it, which, kind of already do, but I feel like I have so much more to give to them after this week, you know?
so much of your energy was
Cons-
exhausted and consumed in like the inner turmoil, and now so much energy has been liberated. for you to share the gift of who you are with the world and to express your truth and your love and the, you know, the goodness and beauty of your heart.
And I don't have to keep going down this road. I don't have to keep going down this road with the trauma. I just don't.
Yeah.
I was always looking for that solution,
Yeah.
and I found it here.
Yeah.
And I know I'm gonna come back because I'm gonna want to slap some more armor on. You know what I mean? However many months down the road, if I need to. But I just, I don't know. I can't thank you all enough. I just really can't. I hope someone that's listening to this, you know what I mean, that might be fighting, either some of the same stuff or some severe traumas. Um, there is hope, right? There are people out there that care more about you than you care about yourself that you haven't even met yet. You know what I mean? And that's what I felt from all of you this week. I felt like you all are a collective family, and you weren't going to let anybody not feel that while we were here, which is amazing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Um,
And even more love and support coming from the invisible realms of,
mm-hmm.
beings that are not incarnate in human form, but
Yeah.
are so there loving and supporting us with all their might. I'm so happy you received as much as you've received.
I feel so blessed to have met y'all. And like I said to Whit, I was like, "You're stuck with me now. Y'all are stuck with me now."
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
when you get to just release, when you get to release what I had to release today, I don't know. I'm gonna have to go home and really I'm gonna have to write some stuff in my journal.
Yeah.
It's just so profound.
Yeah.
When people feel like there's nothing, there's nowhere else to go, and there is. You have to have a little bit of faith.
Yeah.
And my faith was definitely struggling. You know what I mean, for a while because I even went to court and they throw the case out and I have a full recorded confession. You know what I mean, and it just you have you have to love yourself and trust yourself enough. Give yourself a chance to work on it with the right people, and you're the right choice for me. You know.
And so now the best part is you are a free man,
Mm-hmm.
and you have the rest of your life
To enjoy
to
it.
just enjoy, celebrate, love, be this beacon of light.
And that's the only reason why I want to go home. I want to stay,
Yeah,
but I want to go home because I want to be like,
yeah.
I even thought about calling a couple people where I was like, hey, that was probably my fault. Like, hey, I'm sorry. You know what I mean? I was thinking about that earlier today. And,
oh, yeah.
People get weird with that. Like, what do you, no, like, I know when I go home, hey, Rob, let's go get lunch. You know what I mean? I want to let you know I'm sorry. You know what I mean? I just feel so blessed. I feel so rich.
Yeah.
Yeah. This was the best decision I've made for myself in a long time.
So happy for you.
Thank you.
So as deep as you've been carved, may that space just be filled with light and
I'm
with
gonna
love.
refill it. Yeah. It's like it's gone. You know what I mean? Like, and now you can just replace that with joy and I haven't smiled this much in God knows how long. You know what I mean? Yeah. It was an awakening. You know what I mean? My eyes are finally open. You know what I mean?
Thank you, God,
Thank
for
you, God.
working these miracles through the medicine.
Yeah.
It is such an honor